1973, Frederick Osborne, the president of the American Eugenics Society, said abortion and birth control are the greatest eugenic advances of our day. In 1974, there were 3 professors that came together to see if there was any truth to the notion that was coming out of the black community that abortion and birth control was specifically targeted towards the black community and was genocide. At the conclusion of their study, they found that there was a direct correlation between the location of the abortion clinics and race, and the black race in particular. In 2009, in 2009, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg gave an interview in the New York Times Magazine, Women on the Court, where she said Roe was the case that was going to enable us to get rid of the populations we don't want too many of. The pro-abortion community has been bold in telling us that they are targeting us based on race. Most of you gasped when I said what Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said just 2 short years ago. Yes. It didn't even make a blip on the radar screen. This year, I received an email that absolutely broke my heart. That email was a New York Post article that said New York City is upside down. And more black babies are being aborted in New York today than are being born alive. Something is wrong. And only when we rise up to talk about this targeting. Now, I do a lot of work. Some of you may have heard about the billboards that we put up in Atlanta, Georgia that said black children are an endangered species. It was a shot heard around the world. Praise God. But the alarm I was sounding in Georgia has come true in New York. And we don't know, because we have not measured the true impact of abortion on the black and Latino community. We don't know how many of our women have been sterilized by those butchers. They're not doctors, they are butchers. Right here in Queens, almost a year ago today, Alexandra Nunez had her artery severed and she bled to death. That is happening all around the country. We don't know how many women right now are fighting breast cancer because there is a direct link between breast cancer and abortion. We don't know how many of our children are being born prematurely today because there is a direct link between induced abortion and premature birth rate. And yet, the City Council of New York is saying it's still not enough. That bloodlust has come and it is hungry even for the remainder of those women that decide to keep their babies. They want to shut down this pregnancy center that is giving a woman a true choice. Because in their mind, choice is only when you decide to kill the baby, not keep it. So we are being targeted. And we from across the country are coming together to stop this scourge. We don't have another 38 years to fight abortion. We must end abortion now, and we must end this targeting. So I would encourage you to begin to sound the alarm. This room has more black people in a pro-life meeting than I've seen in years. 1 but it's not enough. To my black brothers and sisters and my Latino brothers and sisters, you must pack the room out with us. 79% of the abortions in this state, in this city, are done on black women and Latino women. Don't fall for the lie anymore. Abortion is not women friendly. Abortion is not a women's rights issue. It is a death issue. It is a covenant that the abortion community has made. All of these that came before me told you. Arnold talked about the letter to Dr. C.J. Gamble that was written by Margaret Sanger. Pastor Clenard, he talked to you about the black genocide. Pastor Hoy talked to you about personhood. It is time to ratchet up the fight. I'm going to leave you with this. I was born and raised a short 35 miles down the road in Stamford, Connecticut. I grew up in a housing project. And all of my life, from elementary school almost to adulthood, I had a fight every single day. Because back in the day, if you beat up one person, you have to beat their brother, their sister, the uncle, the aunt, the dog, the cat. Go ahead. I have never in my life fought like a girl. You know how girls fight? Yeah. Hoping you hit something. I have always fought like a man. When I throw a punch, I intend for it to hurt. I do not intend for it to glance off. Now, sometimes we would use the Vaseline so that the punches wouldn't stick. But when I threw a punch to take you down. I am inviting you today to join us in throwing the knockout punch to abortion. When Chris calls you, the next rally, the next conference call, I want you to make a commitment today that you will go get 10 more like you. That you will not let it be this few. I want to thank you for coming. In Jesus' name.